Carl, we got to talk a little bit more about this Jaden Rashada situation. Some backstory here. He did miss the deadline to enroll for the spring semester on Friday, which means he will not be able to participate in spring ball unless, of course, he gets an exemption. He has not been released from his letter of intent, though, so he's still signed with the Gators. And as you referenced, all of this reportedly stemming from an issue with an NIL deal. So in your estimation, Coach Carl Reed, how should this have gone down?
This should go down with Billy Napier having control, because Billy Napier is the head football coach at the University of Florida. I'm hearing rogue boosters. I'm hearing the collective led by Eddie Rojas at the University of Florida, the Florida Gator Collective. But what I'm not hearing enough of is Billy Napier drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is what exactly needs to happen. You signed a letter of intent. Now, what that means is that Billy Napier still holds the card, because he doesn't have to let the kid go. That's really a decision that's up to him. But I don't care how much money is involved, but you are the head football coach at the University of Florida, and you alone should be determining how the program is going to go and how it's going to be run. We're having too much outside influences from people who put mess in the game, and it's causing a major, major issue at the University of Florida.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this today when we were, meeting about it and wanted to discuss, on this show. And I, for one, am a little, perplexed that it's gone to this length. It was something that we knew was going to be a factor when NIL, came into the picture, and that you'd have to work with these collectives. I mean, I think that the name is perfect and collective, and that who's the one that holds all the cards and who's the one that has the most control over this. But you're saying that it should just be up to the head ball coach? I mean, you have to work with it to a certain extent, right? It's a necessary evil.
One of the issues that we're having here is that when this name, image, and likeness deal was started, I'm a guy that's all for it. Players should be able to make money based on their name, image, and likeness. But when the collective started getting built, it has turned into a pay-for-play situation. And it has brought in an outside party called the collective, and that is what is becoming an issue. You got a kid, I don't know whether the number is 6 million or I don't know whether the number is 13 million. Different numbers have been thrown around. But what I will say is 6 million to a kid who hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in college is a preposterous number. You've got proven guys coming in the transfer portal. You got a guy like Walker Russell that's available now from LSU. I'm not going to give a kid that hasn't thrown a touchdown pass that type of money. You want $6 million? I'll give it to you after you throw your 30th touchdown passes, and the Gators are in Atlanta in the SEC championship game.
I get a little bit, though, of the desperation that's coming from Billy Napier, and that you look at that quarterback room. You talked about some guys that are still available, but when you look at the guys that are planning on suiting up for the Gators next year, I mean, Graham Mertz, a few years at Wisconsin, still not sure what necessarily he's capable of. We saw Jack Miller in the Las Vegas Bowl, left definitely something to be desired, only putting up 3 total points in that game. So do you understand maybe a little bit of why they're doing kind of whatever it takes to make sure that you get a 5-star talent like Jaden Rashada on campus?
A legendary coach named Smokey Gaines, who used to be an assistant for Dick Vitale at the University of Detroit, told me at a hotel room in Memphis years ago, Coach, that if you pay him, you can't coach him. And now you're in a situation where this has went past what name, image, and likeness is supposed to be. You have a kid almost treating this like an NFL hold off. So now, even if you bring them in after caving to the money, it's going to be extremely hard to coach them. And coaches need to keep that in mind, because you don't just have the quarterback position. You have an entire locker room of guys. What's next? A guy with 3 sacks is going to want to get paid more than a 3rd-round pick in the NFL draft? What are we talking about here? Production has to matter at some point.